Hey, pretty babies, what is going on? You are checking out a special Wednesday night edition of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Here we are for Wednesday night of December 15th. 2021. What is good, y'all? Man, we are just a couple of minutes removed from an all-new AEW Dynamite, as it was their Winter is Coming edition. Yo, I want to know what you guys had thought about Winter is Coming this go round. Look, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to look at this year's Winter is Coming edition and they're going to try to compare it to last year. And some may actually feel, despite the phenomenal AEW world title match that we had for a little bit over an hour, feel that, yeah, you know, just wasn't as good as last year's, because, man, last year's we had got Sting and all of that good stuff. Where was that sizzle? Where was that surprise appearance by somebody? Because, no bull, a lot of people were actually anticipating that maybe the man formerly known as Bray Wyatt was going to appear on AEW tonight. You even had some people that felt maybe Adam Shear, the man formerly known as Braun Strowman, was maybe going to make some type of an appearance as, if not Bray Wyatt, then maybe it was going to be Adam Shear. You had all kinds of names that were being thrown around in there. Hell, I even saw a few nods there towards the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's name was even mentioned for popping up at this year's Winter is Coming. But when it's all said and done, no, we didn't get any of those debut surprises. Was it needed for this edition of Winter is Coming? My personal opinion, I don't think so, because with the talent that Tony Khan has right now, you're now in a position where you can be a little bit, okay, yeah, that person might have just been released by this company, or maybe this person is now a free agent, but with the stacked roster that we got right here, where we can do any great number of combinations, I'm actually kind of good for a little bit. You can be a little bit more choosy, and that's honestly the position that Tony Khan has now found himself in after acquiring so many great pieces of talent acquisitions over these past couple of years. So to each its own, but I mean, I would love to know what you guys think. You know, honestly, were you guys a little bit let down that nobody had made a surprise AEW debut on this edition of Winter is Coming? Or you actually were pretty damn good with what you got? Sound off. I do want to know what you guys had thought about Winter is Coming. For those of you that did check out the event, I have 2 polls up. I've got one up on, and I would put it, I would open up my Twitter and see my post that I put out there, as MJF had mentioned Ryback. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I got a poll up on Twitter at the RCWR show. Want to know what you guys thought about Winter is Coming, so you can sound off over there. I got an early snapshot right now via Twitter. I'm seeing about 33% of the votes coming in. Folks are giving the event a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 67% are going with a thumbs up. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on with YouTube. YouTube poll I literally put up. You know what? It should be enough to see at least an early snapshot. We'll revisit it later on, both polls, but I should be able to see what you guys, yeah. Wow, are you kidding me? This is dead even, believe it or not. Wait a minute. Wow, that is a first. As long as we have been doing simultaneous polls for our Twitter audience and our YouTube community audience, this is a first. I'm seeing the same results, the exact same numbers. I just told you guys 33% thumbs down, 67% thumbs up. That is also what is happening right now on YouTube. So that is just wow. I'm going to actually save a screenshot of that, because I've never seen that before. That is crazy. I wonder if that's going to change as we go deeper into the show. I'm most curious. But yeah, sound off and let me know what you guys had thought. And we'll definitely circle back around later, see where you guys are standing. Look, overall tonight, besides talking about AEW's Winter is Coming edition, we'll definitely talk a little bit about the news that came about with Kevin Owens re-signing with WWE. I think you all will find some of what I have to say to be pretty interesting when it's all said and done, especially as far as how the reactions have been in regards to Kevin Owens re-signing with WWE. I think that's going to be one of the main things that's going to surprise a lot of people, believe it or not. So we'll get into that and some more stuff. So we got ourselves a nice little short show when it's all said and done. So, hang on a second. There we go. So we got ourselves a nice little short show when it's all said and done. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week so far. Hump Day is here. We got the weekend right around the corner. I got my tickets for Spider-Man. The new movie that's going to be, it's already out depending on where you are because they already did their red carpet premiere. But for a lot of cities, the earliest, some actually were able to see it on Wednesday, believe it or not. But most cities, it's going to be Thursday. And then officially the real global theatrical release, at least in North America, is going to be on Friday. So I've already got my tickets for a Friday morning showing. And a good way for me to kick off my weekend. So I'm excited. I can't wait to check it out. By the way, congrats to, how do I say this without putting a major spoiler out there? See, if I mention the name and I say spoiler, you guys are going to be able to kind of connect the dots. But let me put it to you this way. If you are an MCU fan and you have not major rounds checking out the new Hawkeye series, maybe it's kind of one of those, I'll put it on the back burner, maybe I'll check it out after all the episodes become available. That way I can go on ahead and binge. Don't do that. Trust me when I say you really owe it to yourselves to get invested in Hawkeye right now, especially if you're a Hawkeye fan. You are an MCU fan, you need to invest in checking out that Hawkeye series ASAP. That's all I'm going to say to you guys, because I think everything that's playing out on that series is going to have rippling implications going into the phase 4 of Marvel, if you will. I'm definitely seeing some nods and all that. So check it out. You will thank me later. I promise you guys. Hey, real quick programming note. I will not be doing my AEW Rampage coverage for 411 Mania this week. I will be back on the saddle again, though, coming up on the following week, and shout out to my boy Jeremy. He pointed it out to me. Apparently Rampage, and I had no idea about this, but apparently next week, and I need for you guys to make sure that your DVRs are set, AEW Dynamite will not be airing next Wednesday. I repeat, AEW Dynamite will not be airing next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, let me pull up the message right now, make sure I got the shows correct, because Jeremy had gave me a heads up here. Let me make sure I'm looking at this right. Actually, correction. All right, so do make sure your DVRs are set, but it's going to be for Rampage. You're going to get a new Dynamite next Wednesday, but Rampage will not be airing next Friday. Instead, Rampage will actually be airing on Christmas Day. You heard me right. Rampage will actually be airing Christmas Day, Saturday night, not Christmas Eve, Friday. So make sure you got your DVR set and all that. That kind of threw me off guard because I was already prepared for Rampage coverage next Friday. But no, it's actually going to be Saturday, and it actually works out pretty good for me anyway. So It's Christmas, so it works out great for me. So look, Dynamite tonight. And I mean, look, there is really no reason for us to be talking about tonight's Dynamite for a full hour. There's really no reason to, because when it's all said and done, grand total, much like what we had got with this past week's NWA Power, where there was 3 matches, remember that? And we probably sprinkled in a little bit of news in there as well. We did, what, guys? Probably about a 40-minute show. If we were lucky, where about maybe almost 30 minutes was dedicated to talking about NWA Power. You can pretty much apply the same playbook to tonight's AEW Dynamite, because what this really had came down to was just 3, I mean, you could say 4 matches, but really 3 matches. You'll understand why in a hot second. 3 matches. With the very first match out of the gate not only being a classic bout, but really setting the tone for this Winter is Coming edition of Dynamite. And, look, honestly, I know some people are probably going to complain. I would not be surprised. Some people are probably going to complain about this week's Dynamite, and they're going to be like, yo, only 3 matches. Seem as though last year's Winter is Coming was more loaded up. This is some bullshit. What's going on here? Not really feeling this. Look, sometimes it's not always, as I like to say on the show, and I have been saying it over the years, it's not always about quantity. It's about the quality. You can freaking have as much quantity as you want. You can say to me, if you're an aspiring podcaster, you could say that you do 7 shows a week, or you do 14 shows a week because you end up doing 2 shows a day or whatever. Hey, numbers, that's pretty good. But quality-wise, what's going on with that quality? Is it banging? Not for nothing, but just to give you guys a recap of what went down with last year's first Winter is Coming event. Besides Sting making his debut and all that, you had a grand total of 5 matches. 5 matches for the 2020 edition of Winter is Coming. MJF and Orange Cassidy, they had advanced to the final by last eliminating Wardlow. Remember, that was a battle royal to determine the 2 competitors to face off for the Dynamite Diamond ring. Chris Jericho took on Frankie Kazarian. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeated Layla Hirsch 1-on-1. Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes defeated Team Taz, Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs in a tag match. Kenny Omega defeated Jon Moxley. It was an AEW World Championship match that went almost 30 minutes. Those were your 5 matches. And I mean, when you add up the runtime too for these 5 matches, just if you're pretty good off the top of your head, 28 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, right? So you're definitely looking, what's that? 38, 48, hang on, 28, 38, 38, 48, 58. You're looking at about almost an hour 15 worth of matches, right? You're looking at about almost an hour 15 worth of matches, probably some storyline stuff in there. And you got to include your commercial breaks and all that, right? But that was 2020's edition of Winter is Coming. Again, 3 matches that we got. Definitely were some filler moments in here, but you know what? For what it was worth, this year's Winter is Coming edition, the card overall, I enjoyed it. Let's be honest. If there was really a reason to check out this year's Winter is Coming, you wanted to watch Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page. And those 2 boys did not disappoint whatsoever. Let me tell you, and I said to you guys a couple of weeks ago, I said, look, we still got a couple of weeks to go before 2021 comes to an end, we could be seeing some classic ass wrestling go down before the year is out. Like, don't be so quick to open up your little notebook and revisit all the matches that came about this calendar year. Don't be so quick to do it just yet, because we got a couple of more weeks to go. I don't see how anybody that is truly a pro wrestling fan, loves, eats, sleeps all things pro wrestling from various promotions, cannot look at what the Hangman and Danielson did tonight and not include it on their list. Even if you feel what all you've seen for 2021, like it's a done deal, I don't see how you can't open up that little notebook or go on your computer and pull up your notepad, your WordPad or whatever, and go, yo, I got to add this match because it was a instant freaking banger classic. Now, I do have one caveat in regards to this match. And that is the freaking commercial breaks. That was just freaking blown. Seriously, I was not a fan of that. I did take notes. I really didn't have to take that many notes, though. But these guys took a grand total of, and look, I know this is how they got to pay their bills, and we get all of that. You know, we can say till we're blue in the face, these freaking commercials, but, you know, for us to be able to get the type of content that we're able to watch on television, these companies, they got these arrangements with these sponsors, and these sponsors are expecting for their ads to play per the agreement that was made ultimately with the network. Okay, so this show is going to be on during this respective block of time. What's your programming going to be for this day? Okay. All right. Well, when we get down to this particular time block for original programming, how many times is our ad going to be playing here? Right. So, I mean, it's all about the mandatory obligations, but we can all be in agreement that the ads during this championship match was freaking overkill. I counted a grand total of 5 commercial breaks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 commercial breaks. You had one at the 20-minute mark of the match. Another one followed up at the 32-minute mark. Third one coming in at the 42-minute mark. Fourth one coming in at the 52-minute mark. So, you know what? Forgive me. It was actually 4 breaks. What threw me off was I put the 1 hour draw, so somehow my brain computed there was another. But no, we had 4 commercial breaks. 20-minute mark, 32-minute mark, 42-minute mark, 52-minute mark. So look, on the one hand, you can definitely give a nod to AEW and say, okay, look, at least they tried to milk it for what it was worth. At least they tried to stretch it out as best as they could as far as the commercial breaks go. But when you just feel, and you just know that feeling as a wrestling fan, when you feel that you're watching something that's very special, that's so monumental here, you know, and in this case, we're talking about a match of great importance because it's for the AEW World Championship. You know, honestly, I just don't see what was so hard, especially since they got good advertising partners and State Farm and everything. And now they've got, Papa John's now, right? Because Domino's was like, yo, we don't want nothing to do with you, right? After that freaking spot from a couple of months back. You can't help but say to yourself, okay, well, surely we could have done limited commercial interruptions. How could they have made that better? If they could have made that better, you know, me personally, I wish that it could have been a case where, hey, the first 30 minutes of Danielson versus Page will be free, you know, and then afterwards, okay, all right, so guaranteed 30 minutes free. Okay, cool. Off the break, you eliminate that first break that comes at the 20-minute mark. Okay. Once you get to your 30-minute mark, just you do a hard within that 30-minute mark. You do a nice setup and everything, but you do a hard, okay, you know, first 30 minutes commercial free is now in the books. You know, guys, we got to take a break, but don't go nowhere. You're going to see everything picture in picture. You're not going to miss anything. right? So your first one could actually come at the 32-minute mark, if you want to kind of do it that, or somewhere in that 30-minute mark for sure, 30 to 32. And then, honestly, if you could have stretched it out for maybe another 15 minutes, like if you had to, just do 2 breaks. Just 2 breaks max. That way you have a limited commercial interruption joint. But despite that, because it really was buzzkill, because you're just all in the element of it. You're watching something that's really special here. And, I want to expand upon that thought a little bit more too in regards to this match, because now that we've seen a match like this that went an hour long, for you veteran wrestling fans that once in a blue moon say to yourselves, man, how I wish that we can go back to the good old days of wrestling from yesteryear. Remember when we used to get our matches and we used to get Iron Man matches and we used to get this and we used to get that, right? Now you really kind of see how tricky and difficult it can be when you're trying to do an hour-long match. You don't want to go in there with the commercial breaks because it's going to be a bit of buzzkill. But now you see the difficulty that there is. It just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if you have 2 really excellent wrestling competitors in that ring. That there's a whole lot that goes into play. One is, okay, their chemistry with each other. Is it off the charts? Is it going to be banging like that? Is it going to warrant continuing to add a couple more minutes to that match, especially when you're putting all your marbles into these guys really taking up the first half of your show or your pay-per-view, right? But then the other thing you got to factor in are the fans. Are the fans really going to be into this? Are they truly going to be, right? Because they also, in their own respected way, kind of dictate how into a match that they are. The last thing you want to do is have a match be an hour long and the fans are freaking heckling and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, that's not good for TV. You're probably going to pull the plug on it a little bit sooner if you had planned on doing about an hour match, right? So there's so many variables. That's the point that I'm making, right? And this was a rare instance right here where everything just happened to work extremely well. My hat off to both men. They did phenomenal. Fantastic storytelling. Bryan Danielson went above and beyond. And I got to tell you, that just really, the stuff that Bryan Danielson has been doing since he's been in AEW, it is just magnificent. It really is. And it's a testament to how serious he takes his health, how serious he takes being in that ring and trying to do his very best to entertain the fans, give them the best matches that's humanly possible. Remember, when we all first heard about Danielson going to AEW and then hearing about how Vince McMahon was trying to do his very best to ultimately protect Danielson. He didn't want for anything weird to happen to Danielson to a point, he could possibly be crippled or, suffer some type of a significant head injury. And next thing you know, this guy's done. He legitimately, go check out the words that Danielson had to say in regards to Vince McMahon if you don't believe me. But Vince McMahon really, truly gave a damn. He cared for Danielson's safety and well-being. And ultimately, Danielson is pretty much, okay, yeah, but it's my body. If I'm willing to do this, I've gone through the tests, yada, yada, yada. Let's do this. And you know, you look at how he was utilized in WWE, but definitely as he was on his way out the door. I mean, he went out guns blazing. Y'all definitely got to admit that. But it just seems that Danielson has had this, I don't want to say a chip on his shoulders, but that's how it kind of feels like. That's how it kind of feels like, because at this stage in his career, you wouldn't blame the man for going, okay, look, I've got a beautiful wife at home. I've got some kids. I'm just going to take it easy. I'm going to do a little bit of part-time stuff here and there. I'll work maybe 2 matches a month and do some promo stuff. But nah, this guy is going in there week in, week out, putting some of the finest freaking classic matches that I'm seeing of his career so far. And I just can't help but continue to knock on wood and hope that for the next 3 to maybe 5 years, because that's how I feel right now. I feel as though at the rate that he's going right now in AEW, probably about 3 to 5 years worth of damn good matches / memories he's going to be able to give us. And look, there's nothing wrong with the style of wrestling that he's doing as far as the physicality part. I'm not concerned for Bryan's physical well-being anymore. I'm not, because he's just proven to me too many times now, particularly in AEW, that he's okay. He knows his body. He knows his limits. You know, he seems as though he's trying to do his best to be very smart about what he's doing in the ring. Look, you notice very seldom to zero have we seen him so far in AEW do the flying headbutt. Remember, that was one of the things that used to mess him up all the time in the WWE. And I remember one of the things that he had talked about when he was getting the green light to come back to in-ring competition was he's going to try to do his best to be more mat-oriented. He's going to try to be more mat-based, more grounded and everything. And to his credit, that's exactly what he's been doing, particularly in AEW. So if you're a fan of Hangman Adam Page, then you're saying to yourself, God damn, the match that he had with Danielson tonight, what a great first title defense, because it doesn't get any more challenging than taking on, you know, one of the best in the world to lace up a pair of boots, and Danielson, you know, one of the best in-ring technicians. I know Bret Hart had recently said in an interview that he really likes CM Punk. Like, other than himself, he really likes CM Punk's style of wrestling and everything. But in that same breath, you also got to mention Bryan Danielson, because, you know, not for nothing, but I think where Bret is probably coming from, I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of felt maybe he was picking up more of a similar attitude, more demeanor, if you will, in character that maybe he's able to relate to in CM Punk, because, you know, whoever that person was that had interviewed Bret Hart, I would have posed an interesting question right back at Bret Hart, and I would have said, really, why not Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson? You don't see more of yourself in Bryan Danielson? Then, right, I would have actually asked that question and have him kind of dissect why you're going with Punk over Danielson, or did Danielson even pop up in your mind? Because for me, if just personal opinion, but if I had to choose, you know, for me, I see a lot of what Danielson does in there, and I feel like I'm watching a hybrid version of Bret Hart at times. I don't know about you guys, but getting back to Hangman, if you're a fan of Hangman Adam Page, you're going, man, first title defense out of the gate, one of his best so far, and this is his first one. You're going, wow, well, if this was so freaking entertaining, what the hell is going to happen with the next title defense? Is it going to be just as challenging? Is it going to be just as entertaining? Is it going to be just as fun? And only time is going to tell for that. But Hangman Adam Page really rose to the occasion here. And you know the old saying I like to say sometimes, you're only as good as your dance partner, and both men really brought out the best in one another. I'm going to double down. I'm going to say something that's probably going to be a little bit controversial, maybe a little bit, but I think, now I won't say unanimously, but overall, I would not be surprised if you all agreed with me. But since we've been watching Hangman Adam Page in AEW, dare I say, to date, what he did tonight was perhaps one of his best singles matches performances. One of his best singles performances in AEW thus far. If you want to just look at it from just a TV perspective, hands down, I don't see how you can top that or have something even come close to what the Hangman did tonight against Danielson. If we're going to look at for the short period of time that AEW has been doing pay-per-views, I'm damn near tempted to say, nah, you know what, even as far as pay-per-views go, I would have to take a day or two to just go over all the pay-per-views Hangman has been in so far, just to go down memory lane. I could literally just look at the name of the pay-per-view, look at the match, and it could just, in my mind, just like that, and I'd be able to tell you. But I dare say, just kind of, I almost feel like even when you think about Hangman's pay-per-view matches, what he did with Danielson, probably his best AEW singles performance to date. So my hat off to both men. They did phenomenal. And look, I love the fact that they went old school with this match because they went Broadway here. Does anybody know what Broadway means as far as wrestling terminology goes? When you go Broadway, basically that's layman's terms for a match that ends in a time limit draw. And that's exactly what we got here tonight. It was awesome. It was awesome that they went out on that note. I kind of felt as though we were going to be going to that point when the commentators kept stressing how, oh man, can't believe we're going past the 30-minute mark here. This is unbelievable. And then they were saying, past 40 and then past 45. I got on the one hand, wow, can't believe these guys have been at it for this long. But there was also a part of me that felt as though, you know what? Why does it feel as though maybe we're going to be going to a time limit draw here? Right? And and as far as I was concerned, if that was going to be the case, I'm down for it. I'm down for it because look, and most people need to understand this because we're going to have those that probably had said, and now they're just lost in the fact that this was a phenomenal match and they're just singing the praises. But before, those same people were going, this is stupid. Why are we having a world title match on national TV? This makes no sense whatsoever. This is stupid. This match should be happening on the actual pay-per-view. They should be doing this with Revolution, right? That's going to be their first pay-per-view of 2020. They should be doing it there instead of on TV. This is stupid. How about just saying, oh wow, I'm in for a rare freaking treat here. I'm getting something really special here. I'm going to be able to see the world champion defend his title against an in-ring veteran. And Daniels, oh man, okay, this is going to be pretty freaking... Well, you know what? I got to represent. I got to show up. I got to check this out. This should be pretty badass. I got to check this out. Right? And then sometimes you just, as I like to say to you guys, look, sometimes some of your favorite wrestling promotions, they like to just take the scenic route, right? It was just a couple of weeks ago. I remember somebody in the chat was complaining about Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, and I'm not throwing salt on them or anything like that. But 'cause honestly, I don't even remember the name of the person that mentioned it. So, but no malice or anything, but I just thought it was so interesting that, especially given how much we cover on the show, the different angles we always go and everything, it's like we had one fan that was talking about how they didn't like the fact that Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch were having the championship match on Raw, that it needed to happen at day one. And I said to them, and to all the listeners, I said, they're just taking the scenic route. We're going to get there. But first, we're going to do this little pit stop on our way to get to that point. We got to make sure that we're building up this up-and-comer challenger over here. Like, nobody is saying that this girl needs to get it off the break. No, we're going to build this up. We're going to build up this rivalry. They're doing a scenic route. Just watch. Just kick back, watch. And for those that watched the product, you saw exactly how things had played out. Okay? So for me, and what Danielson and the Hangman did tonight, and the great booking that was done by Tony Khan and them, you've set this up in such a way where, okay, we got to get a freaking rematch. We just got to get a rematch. And oh yeah, we're going to get that rematch. We are going to get that rematch. That rematch is going to happen on pay-per-view. On pay-per-view, you want to see them go at it again? You're going to have to come up with that money, honey. Remember what CM Punk had said at last week's Worth the Shows? He said, whoever won that championship, he won it next. Well, guess what? It went to a tie. So since it went to a tie, CM Punk, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer, is he not? He's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Besides, he's got his respected hands full right now, right? So, that's how that goes. I could go into the whole move for move and all this other. I could go that route. I'm not going that route. Great match between both of those men. I ended up just having even more respect for Hangman Adam Page, honestly. Even more respect. I mean, I've been a fan of his pretty much since really got first introduced to him through AEW and everything. And that pretty much had me backtrack, looking up some of his stuff online and everything. And it's really amazing to see how far along the young man has come. I'm loving how things are going for him so far as the champion. Big, awesome moves throwing down in this. Both guys just going in there, just beating the living tar out of each other. Great ending to this match. Sets the door wide open for a rematch, which you definitely should explore that. And like I said, make people pay for it. But you got to put a stipulation in there. You got to, because, fool me once, shame on you, right? Fool me twice, shame on me. My message to Tony Khan and crew, when you do pull the trigger on the rematch on the pay-per-view, you cannot go and do another time limit or there was interference and somehow both of these men got laid out and thanks for coming, everybody. No. I don't know what type of stipulation they can add to when both of these men lock up again. Maybe you go steel cage, or maybe you could go no DQ, right? Or maybe you could just say, okay, we're going to do another AEW World title match, but this go round, there is no time limit. There must be a winner, and the only way a winner can be crowned is by pinfall or submission. If you maybe want to do something as simple as that, then yeah, cool. Closing moments to this match, for those of you that are curious and you're a little bit, you were kind of out and about and everything like that. Danielson had ended up taking Hangman Adam Page up to the top. He was looking for a belly-to-belly suplex. Page actually was able to counter it. He landed on his feet, and then he did a nice, sweet discus lariat to pretty much lay down Danielson. I think there was like a near fall attempt pin in there. They pretty much were going back and forth on the roll-ups. Danielson ended up kicking Page in the head. He did his trademark stomp to the face while he's holding on to the opponent's arms and just stomping on it, you know, trying to set him up for the label lock and everything. He looked for the running knee, that trademark running knee, and that got countered into a dead eye for a near fall. Buckshot lariat got loaded up. Danielson ended up reversing that into a label lock. Hangman actually ended up escaping it and connected Danielson big time with a clothesline that had set up another buckshot lariat from outside the ring side of the ropes there. And right as Hangman had did that, the time had expired. So it was really smart how they did this. And I love the pacing of this match and everything. I love how Danielson was just going in this match. And early on, I mean, he was just so overconfident. He was just so freaking cocky with this just asshole smirk on his face. He just wanted to bitch slap the hell out of him. I loved everything that was going on about him, how he kept going to the ropes, just messing with the Hangman, trying to get all up inside his head and everything. Just overall, the psychology that they laid out for this match, really, really great stuff. Great stuff. Again, I don't see how anybody could not add this match to their match of the year nominations. Seriously. From there, Wardlow took on Matt Sydal. I wish I could say, hey, this was phenomenal. This was amazing. But this was about a minute and change of a brutal beatdown on poor Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal got powerbombed, if not twice, at least 3 times. And that pretty much was the end of that match. Wish I could say a lot more. But that pretty much was it. Post-match, Shawn Spears, the chairman, took a steel chair to the back of Matt Sydal, then proceeds to answer his phone. Apparently it's MJF, and he wanted for Wardlow to go run an errand at the local convenience store, grab some champagne, put it on ice, have it ready for him, because MJF knows he's going to be winning the Dynamite Diamond later on, because he was going to be facing Dante Martin. So Tay Conti, little video package is shown as she's sick and tired of Penelope Ford, points out how Penelope Ford can only win her matches with brass knucks between her and the bunny. So she puts a proposition out there, or rather a challenge. She says, yo, let's have a match, but let's let it be a submission match. So Penelope Ford accepted. So we'll get to the Rampage card, because that's going to be playing out on Rampage. We'll talk a lot more about Rampage in a hot second. Malachi Black video package is shown. I told you guys, you had 3 matches and you had a lot of fillers. You had video packages, all of that stuff. It was a nice balance. You know, it was basically a continuation of some key arcs and everything. Malachi Black's video package was shown. And the bullet points for this, he was talking about basically how deep down all humans are evil, and that he will appreciate the teachings the house has bestowed upon him, because at the end of the day, the house always wins. He also mentions that someone is so much more than a king. Kind of interesting, those choice of words right there, that he mentioned that someone is so much more than a king. So, you know, that's the thing with Malachi Black that we got to remember. Malachi Black has a way of letting you know who his next victim is going to be, like somewhere down the road or whatever. So, you know, it is what he was saying right here is this a nod particularly to certain wrestler? Or was this just more of a figure of speech that was going on here, right? It's kind of one of those, you got to go back and actually watch it. It's really worth checking out. If I could show it to you guys, I would, but I don't want to get in trouble with AEW. But by the way, you guys been appreciating the show so far. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go out of your way and you hit that like button, man. When you do that, you really help spread the word about the content. Not to mention, you also help put more eyeballs on the product. So thanks. And please feel free to subscribe as well so you don't miss out on all the great content that we put out there for you guys on a weekly basis. Shida taking on Serena Deeb. These two girls went 12, 13 minutes, give or take. Shida picking up the W here. Here's the thing. Great match. You're not going to find me shitting on the match because what they did was good under the circumstances. What circumstances am I talking about? Their feud sadly lost a bit of steam because there has been this inconsistency of their feud playing out on television. So that's where they pretty much have gotten hurt these past few weeks, honestly. Because, look, if you were to say to me, nah, Lee, if anything, maybe Shida and Serena Deeb, maybe that actually should have been replaced with Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill. I would say to you, it's actually pretty damn good. Like, okay, I see you on that one. Or hell, more recent feud that's been playing out on TV. If you maybe wanted to say, okay, well, and again, if you want to bring this question up, it's a fair question. Penelope Ford, Tay Conti, right? Because we've seen some form of Tay Conti, Anna Jay, Penelope Ford, Bunny, right? We've seen that play out for some weeks now. So why couldn't we maybe have something like that spill out on, right? But this was a good match. It was. It just did not have enough build-up. It just didn't have enough hype for it. And that's really sad because, honestly, at least 2, maybe a max of 3 episodes of Dynamite and or Rampage, definitely on Rampage, could have helped these girls out big time going into this match. I'm hoping that this is pretty much the bookend to this feud, or lack of a feud. We know they've been going at it, but seriously, we really hope that this is over and done with because, at this point, it just kind of feels like you've lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling, right? It feels a little bit like that, but decent little match that the girls had there. Varsity Blondes backstage segment. They pretty much are mad at Malachi Black for spitting his fluids on them and Julia Hart last week. I just got to let it sit there the way I delivered that before I move on. I just had to. Griff Garrison demands to have a match next week against Malachi Black. Brian Pillman Jr., meanwhile, he doesn't really feel that's really a good idea. But Griff Garrison, he's letting his anger get the best of him. I love this psychological warfare right here. See, it'd be very easy for me to just say that and then we move on. But marinate on this for a hot little tick. This is how the Malachi Black character per se works. He gets inside your head. This black ooze that he spits at you, not only is it his way of choosing his next opponent, but you could essentially say that this black ooze that he spits on you has its way of digging deep down, per what he has said in his previous vignettes here right? So this all makes sense. You know, the black ooze, it gets into the pores, it gets absorbed through the skin and all of that. So that touch of evil, right? That touch of evil is just, it's under the skin. And it's just chipping away at all things that are maybe good about a person. And the darkness ultimately consumes them, right? So I don't know if you guys are really looking at it on that type of a deep level right here, but I can't help but wonder just how far down the rabbit hole Griff Garrison is going to go, and if ultimately the Varsity Blondes will be no more as a result, thanks to Malachi Black. Think about that for a second. And also think about the fact that many of us have been wanting to see Brian Pillman Jr., especially since we've checked out a decent little bit of his work with MLW and all that before signing on to AEW full-time. You know, a lot of us have said, yo, definitely a future breakout singles competitor, you know, right? So just have all of that going in the back of your mind. I might be on to something there. Video recap there of Hook is shown from his in-ring debut match on Rampage. If you missed any of what I had to say about Hook, do yourselves a favor. You can either read up my AEW Rampage review from last week over on 401mania.com, or you can check out, what was it? Was it Mondays? Yes, you could check out this past Monday's RCWR show. Timestamps were put on it so you could actually see. As a matter of fact, if you'll indulge me for a second here, I can actually tell you the timestamp for Hook there. I'm looking at it right now, and the timestamp you want, look up the 12/13/21 edition of the RCWR show, and to get my thoughts on Hook's in-ring debut, go to the 41-minute 55-second timestamp. All you gotta do is just, whatever device you're on, you automatically will have the built-in chapters, and you can just read it and just scroll ahead. Or look at the episode description. You can pretty much just click on that timestamp and it'll take you right there. So they got a repack. They showed a package of that. Show that again about Hook. By the way, AEW is doing something new. I would love to actually share my screen with you guys so you all can actually check this out. I'm actually, because saying this is one thing, but to actually show it to you guys, hang on here. Let me look here. Nope. Give me a second here. And while I'm looking this up, I'll tell you guys exactly what's going on. So it was revealed tonight that AEW has extended some signed memorabilia with Upper Deck. And give me a second here. And they're releasing new autograph portfolios of exclusive memorabilia that you guys are not going to be able to find anywhere else. Now, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, okay, yeah, but what's going on with those trading cards? I got a trading card update for you guys in just a hot little bit. But let me tell you something right now. This autograph memorabilia that is available right now, it is pretty freaking expensive. Let me tell you, it is very, very expensive. I'm on the Upper Deck site right now, and I'm trying to see if there's no search engine. How do you not have a search engine on here? Hang on, guys, because I want to show you. I want to show you guys this because it's actually worth showing to you guys. Okay, so the site, it's collectaew.com. Let me just make sure This is the, yes, it is. That's the right site. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now with you guys, and you guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you're interested in some AEW memorabilia, if money ain't a thing for you, have at it. That's all I got to say. Have at it. But this is going to set you back. This is going to set you back. All right, let's load this up. And there we go. So I'm going to hide myself for a little bit here. Oh, actually, no, I can't do that, can I? Can I do this? Let's see. That's weird. We did have it, but now it kind of disappeared there. Let's see here. Let's see. Trying to show you guys this. That's weird. Okay, let's... All right, hang on. Let's try it again. I'll tell you what. Let me... I think because I expanded the dimensions there. So let me do this. Let me remove it. And I'm actually going to try to see if I can bring it back for you guys. I think what I'm going to have to do is just leave it at the... Actually, you know what? Hang on. Okay, let's try that. There we go. There we go. I knew that would work. Well, okay. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. All right, so let me try this then. I'm going to try 1980. Hang on. I'm going to try 1980 by 1040. There we go. All right. That ain't too bad, right? It's not too bad. Can I blow it up a little more, though? Let's see here. I'm going to try to see how much I can get away with here. Let me blow this up a little more. Okay, that'll work, right? You guys can pretty much, right? And you can always just go to the website, right? You can always go to the website. CollectAEW.com. So this is a new partnership that they're doing with Upper Deck, where they're making original autographed memorabilia available for you guys to check out. Okay. And look at this. So if I were to click on, let's click on this CM Punk one here. So you got a CM Punk autograph AEW stage 16 by 20. This is going for $500, y'all. Limited to 99. So there is a limit to this. There is a limit to this. Look at this. And you guys will see this CM Punk, because I actually opened it up in the next browser. So you guys will actually see it in a few seconds here. Okay. You guys should be seeing it in a few seconds here. Let me blow this up a little more. Let me come right here. Yeah, I didn't do a right copy and paste. So here you go. Here you guys go. There you go. This right here. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep showing you guys, but I want you guys to actually go on the site and get a feel. But this autograph CM Punk joint right here, that's going to set you back $500. And it's limited to 99 people. You know, and some of the stuff that they got on here, they've got Sting, they've got Chris Jericho, they got, I mean, and these prices are just, we're talking 8x10s, some are 16 by 20s, but we're talking anywhere between, the highest I've seen so far is $500. The cheapest I've seen is $199. For those of you curious, looks like Cheetah is in the $199 range. Even Ruby Soho is in the $199 range. Jay Cargill is in the $199 range. Jungle Boy, Brian Cage, Tay Conti, they're all commanding 300. Moxley, 500. The Bucks, 300. Matt Hardy, 300. JR's got a 16 by 20 for 500, while he's got an 8 by 10 for $300. Miro holding on to the TNT Championship autograph, $300. Ray Phoenix, $200. Pac, $300. Orange Cassidy, $300. Darby Allin, $200. MJF, $300. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, if you think you're going to be able to go to the website and you think you're going to be able to, it's just going to be like maybe, somewhere between $50 to $150, and it's a pretty freaking penny. It's a pretty freaking penny. Look, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to spend their money when it comes to stuff like that. But what's up, Austin? I'm not here to tell anybody how to spend their money when it comes to stuff like that. But if you want my honest opinion, just pretend we're at a bar, we're having a couple of drinks, and you say to me, Lee, I came across a nice little bankroll of money. I'm thinking about some wrestling memorabilia. I was eyeballing some stuff that AEW's doing with Upper Deck. What do you think? I would honestly say to you, look, we're talking about an autograph photo. You could probably get their autograph for even cheaper if you were to maybe go to C2E2 or Comic-Con or what have you, or if there's a virtual event that maybe High Spots or Signed by Superstars is able to do with said talent. I would encourage you to save some of that money and invest in those avenues instead, because look, I'm just going to call it how I see it. I don't know how you guys are seeing it, but some of those prices, depending on the talent, some of those prices come off a little bit highway robbery-ish, okay? And I mean, not for nothing, but I'm thinking about JR, for example. I remember when I met Jim Ross at DC Improv, I did a VIP combo where basically the VIP combo, I got first dibs on wherever I wanted to sit, and I sat pretty much right in front of JR. I didn't give a fuck. I sat right in front. Like, I could have just grabbed his leg, pulled on his pants leg. How you doing, buddy boy? Right? I could have just done it like that. But I paid a VIP package for front row seats, guaranteed meet and greet before the show and after the show. Yeah, that's the way that they had set it up at DC Improv. So before the show, and it was cool because when JR got there pretty early. He got there about 2 hours before showtime, and he actually had dinner. And then once he was done with dinner, he pretty much went into, a nice little room. And those of us that were there, at least about an hour before the show started, we pretty much were able to chat with him for a few minutes, do a nice little meet and greet. And he, the way they did that one, I'm trying to think how they did that one. That one was photo op, if I remember correctly. That one was photo op. And then after the show was the line for autographs. And grand total, to my point, grand total, I paid for me and the missus, we must have paid about, I think it was somewhere between $45 to $60 a head maybe. So you guys do the math. So I mean, we walked away with a fucking steal. With a fucking steal. And you're talking about this site that happens to have a JR 8x10 or a JR 16x20. 16x20, what did I say earlier? $400, whereas the 8x10 is $200. I don't know. Yeah, Austin, I'm like you, man. I'm like you. The CM Punk one, that is a little tempting. The CM Punk one is tempting. But it's like, I would even tell you in regards to the CM Punk one, I would even say don't do it because CM Punk has decent prices elsewhere, man. He's got decent prices elsewhere. See, I'm going to get with my boy Julian Cannon from the Wrestling Court. I'm going to try to see if he might be able to tell me some of the prices of what went down with some of the AEW talents from last weekend, C2E2, because I know CM Punk was there. He was there again at C2E2, and I bet you his prices were nowhere near what these prices are on Upper Deck. Seriously. Again, I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. If you got it like that, God freaking bless you. Seriously, God bless you. But if you're kind of new to this whole collecting autographs and all of that stuff, you know, and you want to pick the brains of some of us veterans, like, if you don't care about the whole AEW, like, it's got to say AEW in the background. If you don't care about that shit and all you just want is a pretty tight ass autograph, then I would just say to you, man, just participate in the next nearest meet and greet or the virtual thing that you can do, and just do that instead. Like CM Punk particularly, all right, I'm going to tell you guys the CM Punk story again. I don't have a problem telling the CM Punk story. I did CM Punk's meet and greet at the actual Pro Wrestling Tees store that first weekend for All Out, right? That very first StarCast weekend and all that. Me and wifey, we went out there, and for CM Punk's meet and greet, grand total was $80. $80. Let me tell you what that $80 had included. The $80 included an exclusive CM Punk Pro Wrestling t-shirt that you were not going to be able to find anywhere else unless somebody decided they wanted to sell their shirt on eBay. You weren't going to be able to find it. And to Pro Wrestling Tees credit, that design has never appeared on CM Punk's store, his little Pro Wrestling Tees store, right? So you had got an exclusive CM Punk Pro Wrestling t-shirt, guaranteed autograph on whatever item, didn't matter what it was, baseball bat, piece of concrete, championship belt, umbrella, didn't freaking matter. He signed it, and you were guaranteed a photo op with Punk. And the photo op, they did that with their own cameras. And basically, after the event was over, you had to wait like a couple of days, go on Pro Wrestling Tees Facebook page, and pretty much look for yourself that way. That's how you pretty much had to find the photograph. We got all of that for $80. $80. So trust me when I say to you guys, right? Okay? If you just want the autograph, you just want the photo op, just wait. Just wait. You'll feel the temptation, but just wait. There's no worse feeling in the world than when you blow a shit ton of money. And Austin definitely knows this. He knows what I'm talking about. You blow a shitload of money, and you're like, yeah, I got that. Yeah. And then after the fact, a couple of days later, you go, damn, fuck was I thinking? Right? There's no worse feeling in the world, man. For those of you that are curious as far as what I had CM Punk sign on top of the photo op, I had him sign the big gold belt. So that was pretty badass. As far as just, and even Sting, for those of you that are like, well, surely even Sting, you can get his autograph and photo op. Maybe a couple of dollars higher than Punk, but still pretty affordable. Jericho makes a lot of sense. Because I remember when it came to the cruise, for Jericho, that's actually the prices I just mentioned for Jericho's actually cheap. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to the Chris Jericho cruise, the only way you're going to be able to get Chris Jericho's potential autograph or even a photo op with Jericho, only way you're going to be able to do it is if you cough up basically an additional. Well, I know for this past cruise that's coming up in March, the No Leaf Clover Jericho cruise that they're doing, or 4-Leaf Clover. I'm sorry, 4-Leaf Clover. I don't know why I was thinking Metallica's No Leaf Clover there, but because it kind of sounds like that though. But for Jericho's cruise coming up, they had a pre-order deal where basically anybody that pre-ordered a cabin before all cabins went up for sale to the general public, you were guaranteed a photo op with Jericho. Otherwise, you had to pay money these past couple of times. Like, for instance, the cruise that I went on, for this past Jericho cruise, if I wanted to get access to Jericho, I would have had to pay an additional $3 or $4,000 for like the Jericho VIP package. And from all the people that I've spoken to, some that just happened to have been on that cruise and I didn't find out till after the fact, and I'm chatting it up with them and comparing notes with other people that were on the cruise, they were like, man, that Jericho VIP package, it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. It's like, fuck that. Like, don't do it. Like, really? Like, nah, man, it ain't worth it. So to see Jericho at about that price, I would actually say, given how rare, well, it depends. It depends. Let me say this and we'll move on. If you are remotely a Fozzy fan, or you just give a damn about trying to get Chris Jericho's autograph and do a photo with him, then your best bet is to actually get Jericho at a Fozzy concert. Because Fozzy concerts, I'll say that about the Fozzy concerts, they're still affordable. When I say affordable, like under $100 to go see Fozzy. And I've had a few opportunities, but work or something else has always gotten in the way, where I've had a chance to see Fozzy at the Baltimore venue. I think it's called Rams Live or Rams Hit, something Rams. I've had an opportunity to go see them. And like each time, there's always been some type of VIP meet and greet with the entire band where they do autograph, take a picture, and it's like $100. And you're like, oh shit, what a fucking steal. That's pretty freaking good. So to be able to get a photo with Jericho and to basically be able to get his autograph in the process, right? Now, I would like to believe that it's probably gotten a little bit slicker over the years. Like Jericho and them are probably like, okay, yeah, you ain't gonna be coming to me with no championship, right? And I think you can pretty much take that, and I'm sure within reason, it's like, look, I'll give you an 8x10 of me. I'll autograph that. But yeah, I'm not doing no championship. But you're better off going to a Fozzy concert as opposed to going on a Jericho cruise and paying that ridiculous amount of money. So in the case of Jericho, what's happening at Upper Deck is actually a really good price. Now, real quick, for those of you that got the question on what's going on with those trading cards, Lee, I remember AEW, they were doing some trading cards. So that's all nice what they're doing with the autograph photos. But what's going on with the trading cards? Thought that was supposed to be happening soon. So as you all know, earlier this summer, they were doing little test runs for the trading cards. And the sales for those were pretty good. They did a CM Punk. They did Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole. I feel as though maybe there was one more in there that they did, but I don't think so. I don't think so. If I'm missing a name, let me know, y'all. But they finally just made the announcement that those digital versions of those cards, you're now able to get the physical version. So I actually requested for my physical versions of those cards. So mine is actually going to be coming to me this weekend. I actually have a couple of spares that I'll be giving away in maybe some type of a contest or whatever. But the AEW trading cards is going to be launching in January. The physical cards, they're going to be launching in January. I believe late January, somewhere around January 26th, give or take. As it gets closer, I'll remind you guys. But for those of you that are curious, like, am I going to pick up a couple of decks? And yeah, I'm definitely going to do my best to pick up a couple of decks. What I'll probably end up doing, I'll probably pick up one deck, like the entire deck. I will probably pick up one deck for myself, or a box set deck. And however they got it set up, I just know I'm gonna buy the whole thing, right? I'm gonna try to buy the whole thing, and then maybe what I can do is maybe give away another one to a lucky fan, or maybe give away some cards out of it. Somehow kind of do it like that. But yes, late January is when the deck is supposed to launch. So it's kind of weird how we just went into that whole thing, and we were just, I'm a big fan of the trading cards and that, but I'm also a big fan of trying to help you guys save money, man, because especially in these times, yo. We were talking about Fozzy earlier and all that, having a chance to go see him. Jeff Hardy has revealed that he's doing an acoustic meet and greet tour. For those of you that might be, and I know a lot of Jeff Hardy fans that actually like his music. He's doing some limited dates right now, and it looks like December 16th, he's going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. December 17th, Rosemount, Illinois. The 18th of December, Rockford, Illinois. December 19th, Des Moines, Iowa. January 13th, Lincoln, Nebraska. January 14th, Omaha, Nebraska. January 15th, Fargo, North Dakota. And then January 16th, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So I need Jeff Hardy. In all the years that Jeff Hardy has been doing his music, Jeff Hardy has never, to my knowledge, come over here to the DMV. I've never heard of Jeff Hardy doing something in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Never. I hope that changes. Or at least if he has, and it's just been so long, start putting the DMV back in rotation, because there's definitely some nice little areas where he could easily go and perform. So, we'll see. I was teasing earlier about Rampage. So the card for Rampage for this week, pretty good card too that they got lined up. So again, we're gonna see Lucha Brothers teaming up with Eddie Kingston to take on Daniel Garcia in 2.0. Meanwhile, Tay Conti will face Penelope Ford in a submission match. And remember, Penelope Ford is saying, I don't need brass knucks to beat you. We'll see how that pans out. And then the main event match is supposed to be a 10-man tag match. I'm trying to remember the participants for that right now. Jurassic Express, Rocky Romero. They team up. Okay, so Jurassic Express, and I think Orange Cassidy is supposed to be in there as well. They all are teaming up to take on the Elite. So they're taking on the Bucks. They're taking on Adam Cole. Damn, who's the other two? I'm trying to remember who the other two are. Let me see if I can actually, because I just scribbled some stuff on my freaking notes here for Rampage. Let me see if I can actually find, but it's supposed to be a 10-man tag match on Rampage. It's supposed to be freaking loaded this coming Friday. So actually, hang on. I'm looking at it right now. Guys. Hang on. Bam. Okay. Yeah. So Tay Conti, Penelope Ford, Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, Bobby Fish teaming up to take on Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Trent, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta. And then Eddie Kingston, Penta, Ray Phoenix, Santana, Ortiz taking on Daniel Garcia, Team 2.0, and the Acclaimed. I'm glad I actually went back and, yeah, so those are the official matches that's going to be happening on AEW Rampage this week. So that should be a pretty damn good card. That's 4 matches right there that I just went over. Normally we get like about 3 matches. So that should be good. That should be good. I will be watching it at some point over the weekend, so I'll definitely let you guys know what I thought about Rampage. I wish I was covering it though, but there's a particular reason why I'm not going to be available this coming Friday. But yeah, let's see. Other than that, what else can we get into here? I tell you what, let's get into the whole Kevin Owens thing. So Kevin Owens made a decision that's best for him, his family, for his well-being, for his financial security. He decided, you know what? I'm going to re-sign with WWE. Okay, cool. Personally, none of my business, but, you know, he decided to make that information public. And he said that at a later date, he's going to reveal why he re-signed with WWE. Really doesn't owe us anything, but hey, I appreciate that gesture, right? I appreciate that, especially in this day and age when you have so many so-called wrestling journalists that are just literally, let's try that. And they're literally guessing. That's all they're doing. They're not even nowhere near bullseye, just guessing, right? So I appreciate the fact that Kevin Owens wants to clear the air at a later date and all that. That's cool. That's cool. Look, my thoughts when it comes to Kevin Owens re-signing with WWE. It was his decision. He did what was best for him. He did what was best for his family. He did what was best for his immediate future. That's his decision. That don't affect me. That don't affect you all. That don't affect our pockets. Whether it's Impact, AEW, WWE, MLW. At the end of the day, we as wrestling fans that consider ourselves to be fans of Kevin Owens, we continue to win because we're going to be able to continue seeing Kevin Owens on our TV sets. If there's one thing Lee Sanders, the wrestling fan, has to say about Kevin Owens re-signing with WWE is this. I hope that WWE rewards that loyalty. I'm not talking about, oh, yeah, he's being rewarded. He's being paid handsomely and he's got these other perks that's attached to it. And that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, really reward this guy for his continued loyalty. I would personally love to see this man get back into some pretty good story arcs. Don't get me wrong. The stuff that's going on right now with Rollins and Big E for the WWE Championship, I'm liking all of that that's going on right now. I really am. But, you know, somewhere down the pipeline, give me a really great feud between Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. Give me 2 good Canadian boys and Kevin Owens feuding with Edge. Give me a heel Kevin Owens against Edge. Give me Kevin Owens working with Damian Priest. My ultimate WrestleMania, I would love to see under the right story arc, and I promise you, if they do it just right, it would be damn fucking good. Give me Brock Lesnar working with Kevin Owens. I want to see some really good stuff with Kevin Owens in the foreseeable future. I would like to see Kevin Owens become a world champion 1, maybe even 2 more times. If you tell me he signed a 5-year deal, I want to see at least Kevin Owens become a world champion 2 more times out of that 5 years. 1, but to not have any world championship run in 5 years, that just, okay, so what was he doing during that time? Was he involved in some memorable feuds? What exactly was going on there? I care more about the quality of content we're going to be seeing from Kevin Owens in the immediate future. because it's been a bit rocky these past couple of years. Not for nothing, but way before Kevin Owens re-signing became even a thing to talk about, or Kevin Owens' contract is set to expire, before that even became a thing. I remember saying on this show, ever since the feud with Jericho, it just seems that KO's been kind of on this decline, and he's just been kind of just right there, just right there. So I really hope that the quality goes up, sincerely, right? But all this hatred that's coming towards Kevin Owens, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it. And if you haven't, then this might be news to you, but there's actually a hatred towards Kevin Owens for re-signing with WWE. Just goes to show you what I've always said over the years. You can't please everybody, nor should you try. Because there's always going to be some critic. There's always going to be some asshole that's got to take something, no matter how positive or whatever, and they got to twist that narrative, and they got to figure out a way to not only shit on it, but they got to use it in such a way where it feeds them, it feeds their followers, it feeds their base. Perfect example. Not getting too political. You know, we try to steer clear of that, at least on this show. But the president went down to Kentucky, spoke with the people there, victims, and much like we've seen every single other president do whenever something as catastrophic as Mother Nature hitting on a city has done. We've seen every other president do what Biden did. And there was so much venom on social media. You had a decent amount of people, overwhelmingly, you know, hey, all right, good stuff, yeah. But you had other people that looked at it as an opportunity to take digs, shit on the president, all this other stuff. Majority of the wrestling fans, very happy for Kevin Owens. But much like with Biden, you had so-called wrestling fans that also had a lot of venom. Take, for instance, I'm not going to mention the name of this one person, but I got chuckles out of this one. There was one wrestling fan that had the audacity to say, good for Kevin Owens. Keep his fat ass away from AEW. And it's like, God damn, what the hell did Kevin Owens do to you? Seriously, what the hell did this man do to you? You know, and then it turns out, you find out why this guy was so salty, because his timeline, it was so hilarious. Because leading up to, good, keep his fat ass away from AEW, you saw posts over the years. Love you, KO. KO's the man. KO's the beast. Love me some Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens the shit. Full support. Just full throttle on Kevin Owens. And then, KO has decided he's going to stay with WWE. Good. Hope his fat ass don't come to AEW. Keep his fat ass away from AEW. And you're like, whoa, what the... And it turns out this person was real salty over the fact that Kevin Owens apparently had blocked them. Right? Way to deflect and all that other bullshit, because it's like, I got blocked by, okay, so usually when you get blocked, there's a reason why. There is a reason why. Ain't nobody just gonna block you out the clear blue. Take some self-accountability. What exactly did you say that warranted you getting blocked by said celebrity? You couldn't have been that innocent. You ain't no babe in the woods. What exactly did you say, right? But there were actually a number of people I saw that were just out the you-know-what. A lot of praise, but you also had people, Oh, he's so stupid. Oh, he's just going to waste his life away for that frivolous old man, that frivolous old senile man. What a waste. He's so stupid. What was he thinking? Oh, he would have had a much better shot in AEW. Like, look, not for nothing, guys. Never say never. Never say never. KO could still do whatever somewhere down the road. Never say never. He's still a relatively young man for the most part. It could ultimately happen. But the way that we as a society are just running around and, you know, when we feel that we're not being pleased, when we're not getting that instant gratification that we need, that we feel we need, you know, like these men and women don't owe us a motherfucking thing except entertaining us. Unless they're injured or otherwise, they decide they want to lace up those pair of boots and they want to get in front of that camera. Okay, you're in front of that camera. That means you're ready to entertain. Let's see what you got. Other than that, they don't owe us a goddamn thing. I am so above, you don't know what, okay, of fans that feel that these wrestlers, you know, well, it wouldn't be nothing without us. They owe us their livelihood and everything that's come with them. They owe it to us. So yeah, no, I don't want you resigning with WWE. You gotta go to AEW because that's the only thing that I watch right now. Yeah, so if you don't come to AEW, then die. You're not my favorite anymore. Come on, man. We got to be better than that. We can't roll like that. We can't roll like that. You know, it's interesting because a buddy of mine asked me a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Lee, are you going to the AEW show in Washington, D.C. coming up in January?" And I told him, I said, yeah, no, I'm going to be pretty busy with school. I'm also going to be, you know, a little bit more busy with the shows. And yeah, nah, you know, I'm good. If I can maybe get in some media stuff with some of the AEW folks the week of, you know, I'd be up for that. But nah, I'm good. And I didn't go any further into it. But what's been frightening to me, and it's been happening just more and more that these weeks and months have progressed, and I don't know if you guys have really been seeing it as well. I even saw a taste of it firsthand when I was on the Jericho cruise. There was a decent amount of wrestling fans on the Jericho cruise that were all about all things wrestling. Truly, all things wrestling. I spoke with so many folks that, I mean, they knew what was going on, not just in WWE. They knew what was going on in MLW. They knew what was going on with ROH. I mean, just pick the promotion and they pretty much were there. There were legit Universal Wrestling fans. There were a few somewhat frightening AEW fans, just a few. But what's been having me as of late is the AEW fans that are just hardcore. All they do is eat, sleep, breathe AEW. And anything else, they're just pretty much, huh? And if you even mention WWE, oh my God, you're giving them Tourette's out the, you know what? I mean, they are just, you know, did you say WWE? You know, and they just start flipping out on you and shit. You know, I've kind of gotten to a point where if there was ever a part of me that was very interested in going to a AEW show, I am so kind of rattled what I see as of late from these AEW fans, honestly, the only way I would go to an AEW show is if I'm paired up with some friends and or family, that's got my mindset. They like seeing what's going on with, all the wrestling. They like going to support their local indie fed, all that shit. I wouldn't mind going with like-minded people like that, but to just maybe go by myself or maybe go with the wife and just, it's starting to kind of, it's not scaring me. It's just so weird though, because it's nothing like what we had when we were growing up watching WWE and WCW. So many of us were legit fans of both promotions, and when we felt, okay, this is kind of, let me flip the channel and let me see what's going on with the other guys, because we not only had competition, but we have variety. That was the thing. We have variety. And look, I get it at the end of the day. You've got these AEW diehards that's so hard. They want to try to relive what we had in the 90s. They want it so bad. So bad. They think they can taste it. They think that some of the stuff can be recreated. And, they want their own little generation of WWE versus, right? They want that. But they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that, because what's changed drastically is the fact that there are so many other promotions that's out there, and so many people have choices. That's the major thing. And then the media consumption. You've heard me talk about that off and on over the year. The media consumption, the ways in which we're consuming it. I mean, portable devices, streaming devices, right? I mean, all of that has just blossomed so much, right? That it's never going to get to that point. Never. And when you've got opportunities where WWE and AEW work together on a project, a la Jericho on Broken Skull Sessions, you've got Tony Khan saying in recent interviews, WWE actually had reached out to me, a couple of guys that they want to talk to about a future little WWE documentary for one of their talents. And, I wouldn't mind working with WWE, just as long as, and look, for a guy like Tony Khan, I like the fact that he's going in there and he's saying, I wouldn't mind working with them, but how does it benefit me? How does it benefit my promotion? Because it's not always about the money, right? It's not always about the money. We've seen that with Tony Khan. It's not always about the money. Look at the shade that was given to him by NWA for what that was worth. Oh, Billy Corgan heard that shit loud and clear, because when you were watching that Hard Times 2 pay-per-view event, oh man, did they make sure that they were showing a lot of love there to Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Remember that? They dropped them motherfuckers' names a couple of times on that joint, so they were making sure they weren't gonna repeat history there twice. It's just so fascinating. It's just so fascinating. Right down to the point, if you guys had watched Dynamite tonight, there was a cringe fan with a post, with a picture, and I just cringed when I saw that. I was like, yo, that ain't no wrestling fan. I don't know what the fuck that dude is, but that dude ain't no wrestling fan. That dude is a dick. As far as I was concerned, I'm like, that dude is a dick. But he had a sign that read something along the lines of, Vince releases more people than COVID. And I just couldn't help but say to myself, I'm sure somewhere in your warped, twisted fucking mind, you thought that was pretty fucking funny. But there's nothing funny about COVID. I don't need to expand on that thought more, do I not, folks? Right? I don't need to. There's nothing funny about fucking COVID, especially when you get hit with it, heaven forbid, you lost a loved one or someone you personally knew because of it. There's nothing fun about that. So to make that kind of, right? Yeah, I'd be wearing a hat and some shades too, which is what he was wearing when he kept showing that fucking sign. He got enough common sense after a while, because you could tell he was you knew he was doing a vanity search for himself online, because after he was done holding up the little sign for several seconds, he would put it down and then he'd go check on his phone and everything. I'm sure he saw his ass being lighted up on social media, and he decided, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead. And he started pushing I think it was Cornette doesn't know what he's talking about. Cornette is out of touch, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That is, no, Johnny, that's not funny. That's not funny, my friend. You're entitled to your opinion, just as I'm entitled to my opinion. Look, no bullshit. But we've got a lot of people that look at this whole COVID stuff, and they look at it as one big joke. Many times I have been at my job and I've said to people, hey, can you do me a favor for their safety and yours? Can you give them a little bit of space? COVID and all. Because I've literally seen folks, yo, you fucking too close to me, back the fuck off, right? Like they're about to get into fist fights because one feels that their personal space is being violated, right? They don't know if that person got their shots or not, just as that other person doesn't know if that person got their shots, right? I've seen so many people that in some shape or form make some type of joke out of COVID. And it's like, okay, you know what? You want to have that haha moment? You know what? What you think is funny may not be funny to the next person. That's why whenever we have either a disagreement or we have a matter of opinions, I like that, because if we all thought, felt, spoke the same way, we'd be a very mundane society. We really, really would. It's almost like, just picture the world without birds, without any animals, without any pets. It would really be a mundane society, a mundane world. It really would. It's easy to go with the COVID joke when it's you that hasn't been affected, that hasn't been impacted by COVID in any type of way. For instance, not long-winded, my wife's coworker, young guy, energetic, very charismatic, super friendly, over the top, very colorful dude. Loud, personality-wise. He's got a loud personality. Real cool dude. Loves to have fun, all that. Didn't get vaccinated. For his own respected reasons, he didn't get vaccinated. Hey, that's his right. That's his choice. The only thing the employer can do is just say, hey, we recommend that you get vaccinated because statistics has shown yada, 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 but you do you. That's how my wife's job went. They like, you do you. The science shows this, but you do you. So he wasn't one of those type of people that would, well, I'm not vaccinated, fuck you, da, 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 da. No, he would take all the precautions necessary, except get the vaccination. He'd wear his mask. If he wasn't feeling well, he'd stay away from work, come back with a doctor's note, making sure his tests were negative, all that good stuff. He was getting the temperature checks, all that shit. 2 weeks ago, he came down with COVID. Now, knock on wood, that young brother is still alive. But per my wife, because he just came back to work this week. He came back Monday. She said, look, he's not the same. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's not the same. Like emotionally, mentally, physically, he is not the same. Like I truly believe it really shook him to the core when he got COVID. I'm like, well, what happened? Did he like get some symptoms or something? She's like, yeah. And he had told her, you know, what all he was dealing with and everything, you know. And so now he's to the point, now he's looking at those booster shots, getting the shots. And now he's looking at all of that with a second change of heart, because, you know, I don't know how bad it was for this guy. I really don't. Like, I don't think it was ventilator type of shit. Otherwise, he wouldn't have popped up to return to work this week. But it obviously really fucked with him like that. And see, sometimes that gut check needs to happen with some people. Sometimes that reality check needs to happen for some people. Oh, that's just a joke. That's a harmless little joke. That's nothing. You're right. It's easy to say that when it doesn't affect you. But when something like that, try saying that to the victims that have lost their loved ones. We just hit a milestone. What was it, guys? Was it earlier this week? Now 800 something plus thousand lives have been lost due to COVID. I will give any one of you guys $200 to go to somebody's face of a loved one that lost their loved one due to COVID and make a joke out of COVID to their face. See, it's very easy behind the keyboard, but a lot of us, we know better in person. A lot of us know better in person. Yeah, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. That's how it is sometimes, man. That's how it is sometimes. That's the reality. That's why I'm very choosy about who I interact with on social media, because that's the one thing that I take great pride in all these years that I've been doing the shows. How I talk on these shows, how I talk on social media, same person you get face to face in the flesh. Same freaking person. Whereas you got other people that like to try to hide behind personas. They like to, hide behind big words and, little caricatures, little animated versions of themselves, or no avatar whatsoever, right? No pictures of themselves, whatever. And look, I can respect that. Somebody don't want to, I can respect that. Not everybody is all about putting their face out there with. I can respect that within reason. But you're always kind of looked a little bit cockeyed, because it's like, yeah, dude, how true are you to your principles there? Seriously, how true are you there to your principles, saying some stuff like that? To each its own. Johnny Gargano making a little bit of news here. He recently had talked about being a free agent on his Twitch channel. I've been checking out a lot of these guys and what they've been doing on their Twitches, man. Hardy, Cross. Now we got freaking Johnny Gargano. I actually like when Rebby Hardy does a little something too. Somebody else I recently been checking out, Allison K. I think her Twitch stream is pretty cool. And I like my girl Thunder Rosa's YouTube vlogs. I like her vlogs. Pretty good stuff here. So Gargano, he spoke about his next move, and it's sad that he even had to put this statement out here, but I wanted to share it with you guys. He said, a lot of people don't realize, obviously, the baby is due in February. Candice and I are really trying to enjoy the next couple of months we have together. You don't think about this stuff, but this is really going to be the last time it's going to be me and Candice. I really want to enjoy as much time as I have with Candice before the little rascal arrives and it becomes a whole new world for me. I've been very lucky in my career. I've been doing this for 15 or 16 years. I've been very lucky injury-wise. I've had a bad lower back and hip problems, but other than that, I haven't had any surgeries or major injuries. I'm beat up, obviously, but that's from doing this since I was 8. My run in NXT was 6 years and I never missed any time. I was on television straight from the WWE Network, USA Network, 6 years, and I never missed time. You look at guys who get injured, they are gone for a year. They are back and they are fresh. Part of me feels like people just need a break from me. That might be weird to say now, but people have seen me nonstop for 6 years, and I want to give people a rest from Johnny Gargano for a little bit. That could be me being weirdly self-conscious about myself. It's part of what he had said during his Twitch stream. You know, it's no different than your favorite actor of a television series or a soap or even a movie franchise. And they've played that character for X amount of years. And they decide, okay, you know what? I'm about ready to step away from this character. Yeah, it's made me a lot of great money. It's given me fame, fortune beyond my dreams. It's also put me in a position where I've been able to connect with so many great fans around the world. You know, I really hate to leave this and everything, but I just feel I need to move on. I just feel I gotta retire this. You know, never say never. You know, maybe I'll come back to this character. Who knows? But the way I'm feeling right now, I'm done with this. You know, we've seen it all the time. And all those mediums that I mentioned. And, you know, for some, they never go back to that character. Little Hawkeye reference. Can I just mention Hawkeye real quick? Right? Since we're talking about it, right? Little Hawkeye reference. I know I mentioned Hawkeye earlier. I just gotta, right? Nice little connection there. But, you know, some people, they come back. Others, they just, right? So, for Johnny Gargano to say that, you know, no, he's a smart guy. I think his finger is so right on the freaking pulse. You know, he's exiting at a really good time because there actually have been, I've seen it grow more and more over the past couple of months, really couple of years. I've seen people that just go, oh my God, this Johnny Gargano, like, God damn, everything at the kitchen fucking sink is being thrown at this dude. Just fucking go down already, right? I've seen stuff like that has constantly been in rotation and everything about the guy, right? The same people that were throwing hatred towards Johnny Gargano, now they're basically going, oh, right now all of a sudden they forgot about all the bad things that they said about Johnny Gargano, somewhat in similar fashion to some of the bad stuff that was said about Adam Cole when he was in NXT before he came to AEW. All the jokes that were being made about him. Even Corny had a few jokes of his own there on Adam Cole, right? So, you know, look, it's interesting how people want to try to figure out what Johnny Gargano's next move is going to be, or try to, goes back to what we were talking about earlier as far as people dictating what their favorite celebrity, athlete, you know, musician should be doing. It's like, it's not in your hands. It's in their freaking hands. They're going to do what's best for them and what's best for their family. You know, and this is one of those prime examples of, and he's absolutely right. He's got it dead on the freaking nose about how his life will never be the same as he knows it once he welcomes his first child. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I'm sure a lot of you all have as well. I remember my best friends from high school, before their first child came into the picture. You know, I remember we used to be able to hang out, do all kinds of crazy, stupid shit, get into a little fun trouble and everything. And then once their first child came into the picture, Yeah, I watched with my own eyes as I had became, a uncle there. And it was different. Not just their whole outlook, but just everything in life, because it revolved around that little boy. And then I watched one kid soon get a brother. So now two kids. And then I watched those two kids eventually get a little sister. So now it's three kids. And yeah, parenthood it takes precedent over everything else. Not to bore you guys, but just let the guy be. Can we have him in our rearview mirror for a few months before we go, hey, Johnny, wonder what he's going to... Let the man go be a dad. Seriously, let the man go be a dad. Let him go enjoy himself and everything. I've been keeping track of what's been going on with that Terminus promotion there. We got another name that's been added. This really should be a no-brainer. Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace has been added to the event. Again, recapping on some of the current names of grapplers set for Jonathan Gresham's Terminus promotion. We got Daniel Garcia, we got Moose, Bandito, Alex Coughlin, Dante, Cabarello, Janai Kai, Lee Morality, Fred Yehi, Joe Keys, JDX, Jay Letho, Kiera Hogan, Jonathan Gresham, of course, Tracy Williams, Invictus Cash, Lisa Hall, and of course, Jordynne Grace. So shaping up to be pretty good. Remember, this is going to be going down January 16th, hot Atlanta, Georgia, at the Kroc Center. You all that's going to be in the area, go check out tickets over at terminustickets.com. I'm very curious to, I'm definitely going to be checking out the event. For those of you that are curious, I'm definitely going to be checking it out when I get a chance. We got some wrestling TV numbers that are in now. Monday Night Raw, they are now in the books. And it looks like they did pretty good for this past Monday night. Right now, I am seeing, bear with me a second here, y'all. They did, hang on. I just lost my place here. Hang on, guys. Lost my fucking place. I hate when that happens. Let me come back to Monday Night Raw. Let me instead go with Rampage. Rampage's rating for last Friday, they did 503,000 on TNT. Not up by much. I mean, that's like about 0.8%. So this week should be interesting. With that loaded up card that we just went over for Rampage this week, I'm most curious if they can get a little higher there. We shall see. But the way the numbers have been looking, that 500,000 range has pretty much been the sweet spot for them. So it'd be pretty premature for me to put some numbers out there right now. But for Dynamite, I'm willing to put some numbers out there. Usually I'm pretty scary accurate most times with the Dynamite number. I'm going to say Dynamite for this week, they should be able to get into 800,000. I'm going to say 800. I'm feeling 857,000 they should be able to get for this Wednesday, especially with the whole winter is coming theme and everything. They should be able to get within that range. For you Kylie Ray fans, my aligners there, forgive me. She's been announced for GCW's event. It looks like the December 17th GCW Blood will no longer feature Bandito. Remember Bandito, he had missed ROH's final battle because of COVID, so he's not able to attend any GCW shows at this time. Also, Dark Sheik and Jigsaw, they're out due to illness and injury, but they're supposed to be returning pretty soon. But Kylie Ray, she's set to make her return to GCW. Looks like this will be her first return to the promotion since August 20th. So, and remember, we just saw her on NWA's Hard Times 2 pay-per-view event. So remember, GCW, they've got their January 15th Say Well event that's happening in Chicago, and pretty loaded up so far. They got Briscoes, Ricky Morton, Two Cold Scorpio, John Gresham, Dark Sheik, PCO is going to be there as well. If you're going to be in the Chicago area, you might want to check that out. Go to gcwsay.eventbrite.com for tickets. If you are not going to be in the Chicago area, they will be streaming that event on Fight TV. So as we get closer to that event, I'll definitely remind you guys. I think that's honestly, no bull, that's going to be another one I'm going to be checking now as well, because GCW's been picking up a little bit of steam these past couple of months. So they definitely got my my curiosity. So I'm definitely going to see what's going on with those guys. By the way, I told you guys for Monday's show. Raw ratings for December 13th, by the way. They got 1,599,000. So Raw scored a 0.39 rating. In regards to the 18 to 49 demo, they got about 504,000 viewers in that age range. So demo, slight increase, not by much, but not too shabby. Impact Wrestling, still under 100,000, right? Still can't crack on a consistent basis 100,000 plus. It is what it is. Monday's RCWR show, we were talking about Jimmy Rave, and I said to you guys, as soon as any information would become available about some type of family or memorial expenses or what have you, I would let you guys know. And it looks like the family of Jimmy Rave, they did put together a GoFundMe, and Jimmy Rave's daughter is actually the one that had put it together. So for those of you that are in a position where you can give this holiday season and you can help out in your own respected way, definitely feel free to contribute. I'm actually going to post this link in the chat. Give me a second here. I'm actually going to post this in the chat. I'm going to have to hop on the desktop here, and I will post it here for you guys. Let me click on this, and bear with me a second here. All right. There you go, guys. So this is the Jimmy Rave GoFundMe memorial. And there you go. All right, so the link is now live. And what I'll do once the show is done and I get ready to put this episode out there for on demand and the downloads, I'll include it in the episode description so people can check it out. But yeah, his daughter is actually the one that had put this together. Right now, they're trying to achieve a goal of $20,000. So far, they are at almost $6,000. So anybody that's able to contribute, many thanks. Look out before the weekend is out. I will definitely be making a contribution. And this is what I'll say to you guys right now. Anybody that is watching this stream at this point, or you'll be listening to this on demand and on the downloads audio wise, and you're up to this point, anybody that does make a contribution to the Jimmy Rave Memorial, again, set up by his daughter, I will do my best to match you dollar for dollar. If I can't match you dollar for dollar, I will at least, okay, you donated, okay, I'm just gonna come out there with another donation. All right, just shoot me an email, let me know, or get at me on Twitter at the RCWR show. If you want to shoot me an email, hit me up at the RCWR show at Gmail. You gotta make sure you put in the RCWR show at Gmail and let me know. Those of you that maybe don't want to broadcast your shit publicly, you can pretty much go about it that way. But yeah, Let's see if we can do something. I know some of you guys have chipped in the past on some past GoFundMes, so let's see what you guys can do this go round. And look, if money is pretty tight for you guys, you can't do anything, no problem. Just do the next best thing. As I always tell you guys, just do the next best thing. Just freaking share the link throughout social media among your wrestling community of friends there. That's like the next best thing that you can do, honestly. Other than that, I'm going to say let's go ahead. Let's stick a fork in it. Let's call it DONE done. I mean, we went a little bit all over the place. You notice I didn't even have anything to say about NXT for this week. I did a lot of fast forwarding on the episode, I got to say. There was actually one really good point of NXT that I enjoyed for this week. Ivy, is that her name? The little MMA fighter, the cute little blonde-haired girl. I liked what she did in her in-ring match on this week's NXT. I thought her match was pretty damn good. I was quite taken. Ivy Nyle, pretty damn good against Amari Miller. I enjoyed what I saw of Ivy. She has that it factor, right? She's got my attention in a very positive way, and I can definitely see her doing some pretty big things. Don't be too surprised if under 2 years in regards to her maybe on the main roster. Don't be too surprised if maybe something comes about with her where she gets moved up a lot sooner rather than later. Programming notes, your next edition of the RCWR show at this point. That's it. We are done until Monday, December 20th. We're done until Monday, December 20th. And that should be good because that's basically going to be Christmas week. So we got a new show there. We're also going to be doing a new show that Wednesday, because Dynamite will be new. NWA Power Post show's in the air for that Tuesday. It's in the air because they're doing a Power Surge episode. So I got to actually watch the episode to see if it's a bunch of new stuff or if it's a bunch of recycled stuff. Because sometimes they've done like some little compilation stuff, and the Power Surge episodes at times hasn't even been worth talking about. So that's pretty much up in the air. But real quick, before I get ready to end the show, I want to send nothing but best wishes, speedy recovery, and a successful surgery to my friend, my brother in arms in the podcasting world, and Don Tony. As first of all, he had a nasty fall at his home. I think it was late last week, going into this week or something like that. And his foot is pretty bruised up pretty bad. I know what it's like. I've told you guys off and on over the years, falling. It ain't no joke. It can happen to you. Doesn't matter what age you are. I told you guys about 2 nasty falls I've experienced within the past 3 years. And one of those falls, I was on crutches for a good minute. So yeah, falling, it's no joke. It's no joke. But he's also going to be having some surgery tomorrow, and wishing him nothing but a successful surgery and a speedy recovery. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you show him some love, and you wish him nothing but I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Wish him nothing but love. I'm sure he'll greatly appreciate that. Patreon members, I'm definitely going to be sitting down this weekend doing something for you guys. There's going to be a special 30 with Lee reviewing the new Spider-Man movie, so that's going to be a free-for-all, so definitely look out for that. And other than that, yeah, one more time before we close out the show, let me look at the polling results here. I said I was going to see what you guys had to say here, and so far, Dynamite winner is coming, 30% thumbs down, 70% are giving it a thumbs up. That's via Twitter. Meanwhile, on our YouTube communities page, see where we are now, because remember last time it was a tie. All right, no longer a tie. So on our communities page via YouTube, 14% are giving it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 86% are giving it a thumbs up. So go with the poll you feel best represents you as far as the majority side that you're on. You don't have to vote on both polls. Just make sure you go vote. All right. And that's going to do it. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR show. Those of you looking for the audio version of this, give me about a half hour, and I should have this up and running. For those of you that's going to be looking for timestamps for the webcast version, I should have that up in about a half hour top. So hopefully by the time you circle back, checking it out, or listen to the audio, you guys will be good to go. Unless you guys have other plans, wishing all of you all to enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend. Most importantly, be safe and be kind to one another. Hit that like on your way out the door. Helps me out big time. Feel free to subscribe as well. Appreciate those of you that were interacting live. Austin, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you lurkers as well. I know we got most of you lurkers in there as well. You guys are awesome. And look, you know, some of the stuff that we talk about on the show, you don't have to always agree with me. I don't mind it when you disagree with me, but be a person of your conviction. If you feel a particular way, own it, right? You don't have to delete. Just if that's how you feel and you feel you're in the right, as long as you feel that you're in the right and all you have is nothing but truth on your side and you feel that you're not doing anything of any malice or ill intent, no reason to delete your stuff. Just go ahead, own it, and keep right on rocking, man. It creates great discussion. Remember that for future reference. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.